Hey! We got Alexander and Friends episode 7? It's 7, right? 7. I edit these. How the fuck do I not know? It's 7. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to lean into What If, episode 6. And that one was, what was the title? What If Killmonger Rescued Tony Stark? And then we're going to do a little bit on Titan season 3 episode, I think it's
8.
9. Is it 8?
It's 8.
It's 8? Okay. Sweet. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start off with just, let's do What If first. I would ask DJ what he thought, but he didn't watch it. He's just here for us to stare at.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I liked it better than the last one. Yeah.
I liked it, and I liked how they meshed so much into the episode. Because, like, basically, like, that one change, like, not only altered, but fucking erased everything good about Tony Stark. Because he basically became he really didn't become anything. He just kind of became, he was just like that same person he was that we saw in Iron Man 1. And he never evolved from that. It, like, arguably, he got worse.
Yeah.
Like, closer to evil than anything good. Okay, so DJ, we're going to explain the episode, and then we want a rating from 1 to 5, 5 being the greatest, okay?
I can do that.
All right.
Give us the rating and tell us why you gave the rating. Cool?
I can do that.
So I'm going to lean on you this a little bit. I watched it when it first came out, so...
Okay, I got you on What If you've got me on Titan.
Got you.
So, all right, so... basically, it mixes in Iron Man 1 and Black Panther slash a bit of Avengers of Ultron, at least the settings, because, like, you see Claw at the same place where we see the Avengers go there and Ultron go there.
So, quick question.
Okay.
Is What If based off the whole Marvel universe?
Yes.
It's roughly based off the comics.
Well, it's based off of the premise of the What If comics.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So, like, these will lean into more of the MCU.
Yeah.
It's like, what if MCU situation, insert there. I mean, they may pick and choose some stuff from comics themselves or ideas. But for the most part, it's, basically, what would change this one thing? How would that change everything else? And how do we tell a story with that?
Okay.
So Iron Man 1 opens up where he gets, almost blown to pieces or whatever, right?
By his own tech, yeah.
Yeah, by his own tech. It's the 10 rings, which is kind of crazy full circle at this point because of Shang-Chi.
Great movie, by the way.
Still haven't seen it. I do want to see it. It looks so good.
It's really good.
And it easily could have been terrible, too. Like, it easily could have been just a cookie cutter, just throw it out there kind of movie. And they actually did it justice.
Oh, yeah.
But it opens up basically with the Iron Man 1 opening up where he's in the Hummer. He's kind of joking around with the soldiers. And then they start getting shot up, just like Iron Man 1. And then the only difference is whenever the missile lands beside Tony, Killmonger from Black Panther grabs the missile and throws it and rescues him.
Yeah.
So that's how we're going to open up the episode. It's like, it's so crazy how that one thing changed so much, because even down to the press conference. Oh, there's a little note I added here. Have you noticed that Uatu, the Watcher, is very visible in this episode?
Yes.
Because in all the other episodes, like, and people have been kind of hinting at that as an Easter egg, because Uatu, the Watcher, in the comics, like, his whole role is to just watch. He's not allowed to intervene ever. That's his, like, one rule, and, like, he's broken it in the comics only if, like, whatever, if he doesn't, the whole world just fucking ends or something like that, like a catastrophic event. But he's been very see-through through this whole series so far.
Yeah, and just like in the Doctor Strange one, he literally talks to the Watcher.
Yeah. So like he's becoming very, very visible up until this point. And I think episode 1, like you could sort of see him, but not really.
Yeah.
So
I
just
think what they're
add that
doing,
in
they're
there.
making it. So I think what they're going to do is like the final episode. It's going to be like him intervening
I
and
think
breaking
so.
his one rule.
I think so. I think somehow, some way, he's going to intervene. But also, who knows? Like after 6 episodes, I've started noticing that the one trends that they're having with all these episodes is that it pretty much ends at cliffhanger.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so like just that little thing, Killmonger saving him, it erases like 3 major things that Tony did in the MCU. So just the forging of the Iron Man suits alone is erased. So like Iron Man as we know him, the Iron Man suit
does not exist.
Never happens. And then the Avengers assemble scene in New York whenever they're protecting New York. That scene
doesn't happen.
Never happens. And then
Endgame
the snapback
never happens.
Yeah, him saving everybody, doing the snapback, that never happens.
Disney's like, we'll bring Iron Man back, but we're just gonna kill him off again.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get to that part. I mean, shit. At this point, if you haven't picked up that you're gonna get spoilers on this episode, spoiler.
Yeah, it's kind of too late.
Tony dies again. Again. Oh yeah. So here we have, like in the MCU, Tony makes Happy what was his title? Chief of Security.
Yeah.
In the MCU. Instead, Killmonger gets that title, and Happy's pretty pissed about it. But within that whole, they have like this TV, like this conference whenever he gets back, whenever Killmonger saves him, and in that opening scene, in the MCU, that's when Tony decides to stop making weapons, etc. But in this scene, instead, Tobias Forge, which was the bad guy in Iron Man 1, Killmonger comes out and says, "Hey, he's your piece of shit. Here's a paper trail, blah, blah, blah. He's the one selling all your weapons to your enemies." Basically just selling them out right there in front of all the news people.
Yeah.
Because at first, one of the reporters is kind of trying to get on his trail, like, how come we've never heard about you? What were you doing in Afghanistan? How were you in the right place at the right time? And he deflects all those questions by saying, "Hey, Tobias Forge is selling weapons to terrorists, etc." Yeah. And then, like, I actually like that scene, the way they did that scene, because I thought it could have easily been a cookie cutter episode or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But the way they kind of wove and the story together, I think it worked pretty well. Because whenever I thought about it, I was like, I'm not sure if this episode's gonna work. If it does work,
yeah. When I first started it, I was like, I don't know about this episode. And then, like midway through, I was like, you know what? I actually like this episode.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Like up until this part, what was your favorite part? Like what part sticks out?
Oh, between that episode? Oh, I thought you were talking about the entire series.
No. Like up until this part of this episode, like what sticks out? I'm curious.
To me, I think it was that scene of the press conference scene.
I think up until this point, obviously we've all seen Black Panther and we know not to trust Killmonger. But up until this point, I'm like, okay, can we trust him or can't we trust him? Because at first I'm like, oh, this guy's obviously a piece of shit that's, just wants to get his way or whatever. But at this point, I'm in the conference, I'm like, maybe he's good. What if?
It like twists your mind, but by the end, you're like,
Exactly. Let's see here. Makes him chief of security. And then shortly after that, he actually offers Killmonger the position that Pepper Potts would eventually have in Iron Man 2, which is basically helping him run the company. I can't remember what title. It was like a CEO title of some sorts.
I think it was like COO.
CO, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So
something
basically,
like that.
up until this point, Killmonger has soaked in just about everything that Tony and Goodwill would have done from Iron Man 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, Tony decides that he's going to build a robot army for Killmonger. Something about it being his IT project in school. Oh, there was this one part where they're trying to figure like the robot, they're trying to get the robot to work, but something about the energy source, they can't get it to work. But Killmonger has the bright idea to use what is the metal called? Antimantium?
Vibranium.
Vibranium. This stuff coming from Wakanda. This episode, we eventually get to where they're wanting to buy a lot of that metal. You can't buy it from Wakanda themselves, so they basically have to go black market, which, this is where Claw comes in.
No, I think they take it from Wakanda. That's why they bring in Claw.
Well, yeah, he's black market. He gets the vibranium somehow, some way, like through a back door. Like somehow he ends up with it, and that's the only way, because Wakanda won't sell it. That's the only way that you can get it is from Claw. And then that's whenever you see, so we've got Killmonger, we've got Rhodes meeting with Claw and his goons. And then out of nowhere, like this is going to be the same setting we saw in Age of Ultron whenever they went to Wakanda the first time. And the first time you see Claw. So it's like this little dingy base or whatever. Then this is the first time we see T'Challa. Black Panther comes in and he's basically beating the shit out of everybody. But eventually it gets to the point where we see Black Panther. He's killed. Rhodes is killed. I believe Killmonger kills both of them, right?
Yeah, he kills Rhodes because he was doing like black market shit with like a different military, I think.
I can't remember exactly the setup, but basically he comes in and he's probably just trying to get the metal back or something like that. But in the process, like basically what Killmonger's trying to do is manipulate the system to where not only does he get the vibranium for his robots, but eventually he uses Claw as bait to get into Wakanda. So he knows that there's no way in hell that Wakanda's just gonna, because it's a secret city essentially. Like the actual city itself is like no one's able to go to Wakanda besides people from Wakanda.
Wakandans.
So he knows eventually he's going to need to figure out a way to get in to fulfill his plan. So what he's set up is he's knocked down, he's knocked out Black Panther, because at the end of all this, he wants to be Black Panther. So he's dead. He's out of the way. Rhodes is out of the way because him, Pepper Potts, and Happy are obviously suspicious of him because he's basically just come out of nowhere and overnight taking over Tony, the company, etc.
Yeah, and he ended up I think right after the scene of him killing Rhodes, I think it was the scene right after he kills Tony.
Yeah, it's like right after that scene. He thinks that he's got everything figured out. He's killed Rhodes, he's killed Black Panther, and then whenever he goes back to America with the metal to get the robots built or whatever, that's whenever he and Tony have an altercation because somehow, some way, he's got everything recorded or whatnot. So he actually sees recorded evidence of Killmonger killing his friends and shit.
Yeah.
So they have a little fight. It looks like it's going to go Tony's way. And then doesn't he get impaled? Yeah. Shit hits the fan.
Yeah, he throws something at Tony and Tony rips off his shirt. And he says, I was really hoping you weren't going to become one of these.
Yeah, there's a cool line on there. I can't remember the quotes exactly.
Yeah.
The difference between me and you is that you can't see that we're both the same or something. It's clever. Just trust me. After that scene, he gets, it's a scene with him and Claw. Oh, they build the robots or whatever. And then after you see the robots, him and Claw are going to the borders of Wakanda, and then he kills Claw. So basically he uses him as bait to get into Wakanda, because he basically says, "This is who killed your Black Panther. Don't you want vengeance, etc."
Yeah.
Then he goes in there and
He
pretty
become-
much stages a war. So he's there to be their savior.
And becomes Black Panther.
Well, that happens at the very end of the episode. So before,
No,
there's a big war first. Remember with the robots? At
Oh,
the
yeah,
very
yeah.
end of the episode, he becomes Black Panther, and there's a scene with
Yeah.
T'Challa. But he comes in saying, "Here's the person who killed your Black Panther, and oh yeah, by the way, the U.S. is coming to invade Wakanda."
Oh, I know
Using the
what you're talking- yeah.
robots. Yeah, he's like, just let the robots in, and then they basically go to war with the robots. He's winning over everyone's trust to get what he wants, and ultimately, what he wants is revenge for the person who killed his father, and he wants to be Black Panther. It kind of leaves that person on an open ending a bit, but at the end of the episode, he wins over their trust, except for one. We'll get to that, but he goes to the ceremony. They decide that he would be the best picked to be the new Black Panther. He drinks like the purple liquid,
The heart-shaped herb.
yeah. Goes into the afterlife, and like I thought they decide whether he's a good Black Panther or not, but I could be misremembering the movie. But there's a scene with him and Chadwick, and he basically said, like, he asked Killmonger, was it worth it? The guy was like, yeah, totally worth it. Yep,
100%.
100% would kill everyone twice, 3 times on Tuesday. But and then it sort of ends his little story right there on a cliffhanger to like what's going to happen next. But the very last scene, it shows Pepper Potts' office, and she realizes that someone's in her office or whatever, and it's Black Panther's little sister, and she like slides a digital screen to her, and it's basically the evidence that Killmonger is a traitor. He's been lying to everybody, and here's everything that he's done. And then the last thing we see is that Ross, the commander of the robots at this point, is saying that they're about to bomb Wakanda, and then the episode just goes to black right there. So open-ended. They could go and say more, but they basically have ended all of these episodes
a fucking cliffhanger.
Yeah, especially that zombie one last week really pissed me off. I was like, wait, what?
What the fuck?
What happens next? So I guess they'll figure out what they're gonna do season 2.
Like I was rewatching all the Marvel movies and stuff recently, and something Bucky and Steve would say to each other is like, I don't remember the exact quote. It was somewhat of like, never dying till the end, and somewhat. And then in the zombie one,
I think
Bucky goes,
this is the end of the line or something like that, or
and then Bucky goes, I guess this was the end, Steve.
When
he throws the shield straight through his fucking chest.
Yeah, I caught that one. Hey DJ. I guess we'll have to wait on our grade.
Oh yeah, that's what we're waiting on.
Oh no, I think that this was a pretty solid episode.
Oh,
not my favorite, but as far as like beginning to end, I think it was well done as far as writing goes.
One's still my favorite. Episode 1.
I don't understand why everyone bitches about that episode.
Right.
Episode 1 was really good, I thought.
Because Peggy was Captain America.
Like it's a sexist thing. Like that's all it is.
Probably.
I thought that story is well thought through.
Oh yeah.
What was episode 2?
Episode 2 was.
I'm trying to think.
T'Challa.
Oh yeah,
Star-Lord.
What if T'Challa was Star-Lord? That was really good. He ends up pretty much solving the universe's problems without knowing that he solved everyone's problem just by being a good person. Really reminds you how Star-Lord's a shitty Star-Lord.
Yeah.
And the zombie episode, I love the zombie episode. I wish we could have saw more though. I really wish out of all of the episodes that ended with a cliffhanger, we could have at least gotten 2 of those episodes and then end the second one with a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
All right. So we need fucking great on this episode. What do you think? I probably did a shitty job selling it, but it's because I didn't know that I was going to have to sell you on this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, just by hearing it, 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5? That's a strong rating.
5 out of 5.
That is a real strong rating.
Real strong rating.
On someone who was doing a shitty job describing it.
Now I
Like,
gotta ask.
just by hearing everything, like, it sounds like a really interesting episode, and it sounds interesting that if it all happened like that, where would the MCU be right now?
Basically half gone
exist?
because half gone.
I feel like we'd be
Like,
we'd be fucked pretty much.
Yeah, basically,
Like,
yeah,
for sure.
because Thanos.
like I feel like if all that happened, there would be no Age of Ultron, there would be no Endgame, no Civil War. Like Captain America and them, yeah, they'll still be there, but there would be no climax for the Civil War and everything. And it just, I don't think we'd have as many movies or TV shows as we do. If all of that happened.
Let's really break that down. Let's suppose that all of these events do happen in the order that they happened, but without Iron Man. Like,
I don't think it'd be the same.
Hell no, it wouldn't be the same. Tony Stark wouldn't be there. But they probably, Civil War would have ended differently. Age of Ultron would have never happened.
Well,
Because
if-
they would have
that's
made.
true. Age of Ultron would have happened because that was basically his fault.
Yeah, that is his fault.
So,
Vision would have never been made.
yeah.
They would have never got Wanda and Quicksilver.
How do you think, like, what do you think would happen in Civil War? Who do you think would replace Tony in that place?
They probably wouldn't have one. Because the only reason Civil War happened was because of.
There was two clear divisions, but those two clear divisions were ran by two superheroes. So maybe the Civil War would have happened to some degree, but it would have been basically Ross.
They ran it off what happened in Sokovia, which was
Ultron. Oh, yeah.
Ultron.
Civil
so
War.
basically, it would have never happened.
Yeah, Civil War, as
The
we know,
snap-
it wouldn't have happened.
Half the universe would still be gone, even though they should have gave it to Captain Marvel. But
So the snap would have happened. The re-snap probably wouldn't, because Tony was the
They
only
didn't have-
one that could break the time traveling thing.
yeah,
He's the one who figured out how to build the time traveling thingamajiggy. So never would have went back in time. Basically, Thanos would have snapped. 50% of the whole universe would be gone, and Thanos would be retired.
Yes.
So everyone we saw turn to dust at the end of
it's still dust.
Infinity War would still be dust. We wouldn't get them
Yep.
back. So we'd be bare bones right now.
Yeah. We wouldn't get the Spider-Man 2 and a shitload of these movies.
We never would have got Spider-Man on the scale that we got Spider-Man on, like
Yeah.
him coming to the airfield, like the airfields.
Yep.
He'd be dust. So after the snap, he'd be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
That's a lot.
All right,
Fuck.
Wow.
now we got another show to talk about.
Okay. We'll switch
Fucking
gears.
flips his notebook.
All right. Episode. Okay. Titan. Let's move on to Titans. Episode. What was it? 8?
8.
All right. Season 3, episode 8.
Great episode.
Yeah. Fucking awesome. Just gonna ask you like thoughts. I think it was great. A lot happens. A lot more happened in this
Oh,
episode
yeah.
than I remember. I was just kind of looking back on the episode. I was like, oh shit, that happened. This happened. There's a few
Yeah.
Easter eggs. Like the first time we see the Titans T broadcasting
Yeah.
to the skylight or whatever. That's cool. And then I remember you saying something about Tim Drake last week
Mhm.
or the last time we talked about Titans, and it didn't click who you're talking about. I was like whenever we saw this episode, like it introduces Tim Drake,
Yeah, they kind
the
of pissed
kid?
me off.
I was like, wait, hold on, that's Tim Drake?
Yeah, they kind of pissed me off.
How so? Explain.
Because I know they don't base it off the comics and whatnot, but Drake isn't actually his last name. Drake's his middle name.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I realized that I don't know much about Tim Drake's backstory. Not as much as I thought it did, but he's probably the Robin that I know the least about.
I know he's more of like the forensic investigate. He's more of a Batman type Robin. He's like the investigator, while you had Dick Grayson was like the high flying
Acrobatic, team leader,
Damien,
kind of a
which
loose
is
cannon.
like I'm gonna beat the shit out of this kid. And same way with
Jason Todd was the brute, wasn't he?
He's the same as Damien is like Damien's like a refined version of Jason
I could see that.
I
because he
think
was raised
Jason
by
was my favorite one.
Jason is the best one. That's why. But
I don't know about that. I like Dick Grayson. He's Dick Grayson.
I'm glad you continued.
Look, I am too. I was like, oh, I need to edit that one out. But no, let's face it. Nightwing's a badass. Nightwing is the whole reason I like him the most, probably.
But Nightwing isn't Robin.
Yeah, but he was the first Robin.
Yeah, but Nightwing isn't Robin. Robin is Robin. Nightwing is Nightwing.
By that thought process, then
you're right.
Then Jason Todd can't be your favorite Robin because he's no longer Robin.
But he was Robin.
That was my argument.
Wait.
You're contradicting yourself, Nicholas.
I know.
You just booked yourself into a corner. But yeah, Nightwing. Like, if you've ever read any of the Nightwing comics, they're pretty fucking brutal. Like, there's a lot of blood. Like, he's basically the Daredevil of DC, in my opinion.
But he's not blind.
That's true. He is not blind. Has all of his senses, as far as we know. He might not have taste or smell, but
Does he have the Rona?
But the ones that count, he's got them.
So I actually just finished playing Arkham Knight, and seeing the two different personas from that Red Hood and this Red Hood tells a real big difference.
This Red Hood is a whiny.
He's not
kid.
Like, I also recently watched like Under the Red Hood, which is a great animated movie.
Oh, it's so good.
10 out of 10. They should make a live action.
Is it on HBO Max?
Yeah.
The thing is, Nicholas, don't fix something that's not broken. And that animated film is not broken.
No, it's not broken, but they should bring Red Hood into live action.
At this point, the story's been told a few times, and I can understand why they would want to tell a different version of the story. I'm not sure if drug addict, was the way to go. I don't understand why they went that route. Maybe they were like, we really want Scarecrow to be in this season. How do we get that to happen? And it's like, we'll make him a drug addict. Like, that seems kind of weird to me. Like,
but
a lot of things don't connect with me, but I'm willing to look past them to a certain degree. But I do wish they would have portrayed Red Hood a little different.
So back on subject about like this week's episode and whatnot, I think what they did was how they had Crane shoot Tim, and then Jason was actually there to like see if he was okay and shit. But then the Titans show up to see if he's okay, but they thought it was Jason because they didn't know Crane was there, and they just assumed he shot him.
That was good. I like the way they did that. That was good writing.
And hopefully in the next episode, Tim says it was Scarecrow who shot me, not Jason.
Hopefully. I think what is going to happen is they're going to make a decision based upon what they think happens, and it will be unforgivable, or it'll be bad. And once they do find out what the truth is, it'll have already been too late, and they would have pushed Jason
away
so far that he decides to get clean, doesn't want to come back, and he's a good guy. Yeah, he's seen enough
He's
bad to know that he doesn't
anti-hero.
want to do that. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
pushes him into anti-hero status, which I think
Yeah.
is my favorite version of Red
Oh,
Hood
yeah.
anyways. So he'll be, a gnarly anti-hero where he will be going against crime or whatever, but he'll be very lethal, like killing. He'll still kill.
Yeah. He's like the first like actual Batman, like when he's like, I'm vengeance, I'm the night, and shit like that. But he goes to the extent of, I'm gonna bust a fucking cap in your ass.
It would be cool to have him go so far and kind of go like blur the line of, whether this is okay or not okay, and then have Bruce finally come back from whatever escapade he's
Yeah.
on, and him be the only one that can
And save
get
him.
through to him.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Because I think at the end of season 1 and 2, eventually Batman or Bruce has taught the team a lesson to some degree. Like the
Yeah.
last season 2 ended with that dinner, and it was after like some kind of pep talk that he had
Deathstroke.
with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
After everything happened with Deathstroke and everything, which they did good with Deathstroke.
but let's think about it. I mean, up until this point, sure, he's been on Scarecrow's gas or whatever, but like he's like murdered people in cold blood, like good people. Like he killed dude's dad. So like, how do you
Yeah.
forgive
No,
something
he
like
didn't-
that?
He didn't shoot Tim's dad.
Did he not?
No,
did?
because if you remember if you think about the episode, he says, Tim said, I actually I thought Jason was the previous Robin, but I saw Jason across the street from the diner when he gave those guys the drugs. And if you actually watch episode 7, you can watch the guys go in, shoot his dad, and then you see Tim go up to his dad to see if he's okay. And then
Oh, I missed that.
the reason he recognized him was because of the way he walked.
Right.
He walked
Okay.
like Robin.
That makes
And
more sense
how-
because I fear he'd be freaking out a little bit more about him.
Yeah.
Okay.
They found Jason when Dick got hit by the car.
Mhm.
They found him over there because they traced the walk when they were going to the gala.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, for whatever reason, I thought that he'd killed dude's dad
No.
or whatever. I mean, I was
They're-
watching this episode and I was like, I would be a little bit more distraught, about
I think they're going in a really good direction with him.
yeah. Depending on how they tie this up or how they proceed, this series can be awesome. Like up until this point, I'm not going to nitpick everything that they do in any show or movie because I know that I don't want a carbon copy of the comic because I already know
Yeah.
what fucking happens if they do that.
Yeah.
So as long as they do, I think the character justice, it's intriguing, it makes sense, I'll go along with it. So like these nitpicks, I even looked up the order of the Robins or whatever. I was like, I swear these are like out of order somehow.
No.
But they're I think so far so well. Because
Yeah. Because
Dick
it goes
Grayson.
Dick, Jason, Tim, and then Damien. Damien's the newest one.
There's one in between.
Yeah, it's like a girl.
Yeah, I don't really know much about her.
Neither
But
do
Damien does. It listed him as the last Robin, but there's
Yeah,
it's the killing. No, not the Killing Joke. It's my God, it's like old Batman, and there's like a female Robin. I can't remember her name.
I think female Robin's name is Robin.
Is it? Well, that was very
I think so.
creative.
Right. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's her name.
What I think they should do, you know how they keep restarting Batman and shit?
Yeah.
If they restart it, they should do like a new 52 type era shit. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I could dig it.
Her name is Helena.
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 Sounds like,
Matthew just looked it up for me.
oh, hey, Matthew.
So her name's not Robin.
Yeah, Helena's the Huntress, Matthew. DJ. But
Whatever.
with everything they're doing with Tim Drake and Jason Todd, they're doing them great justice. And like how in the end of the last episode, not 8-7, you saw Scarecrow tie up Jason and shit.
Yeah.
And then somewhat at the beginning of the episode, Jason's going, I need more. What about that? And he goes, that's uncut. It's a lethal dose and whatnot. And Jason says, I'm done being your puppet, and absolutely wrecks the living shit out of fucking Scarecrow.
Yeah. They have that scene, and then later on we figure out what that lethal dosage is for.
Yeah.
And they've been kind of foreshadowing in the background the leak in Gordon's office or whatever in a roof.
I never knew what that was for. I never understood why.
Then you see Nightwing, he's like pretty much hallucinating or whatever.
Yes.
Also, and I wonder if that has anything to do with it, but basically he's poisoning the water system, which is straight out of Batman, the first Batman Christopher Nolan movie, like how they're trying to dose the water or whatever. So, I mean, I'm guessing next episode the shit's gonna hit the fan. Also, let's not forget, I think, okay, first of all, let me just start with, I think Superboy is one of the best characters in the series that is not being talked about. And also, Superboy loses his virginity in this episode.
Hell yeah. I think actually the episode opens to that.
Yeah, it's towards the beginning, because what's her face? Starfire's she's sleepwalking again, having visions and whatnot.
And then she walks in the room, but she doesn't know anything.
Yeah, she snaps out of it right before Superboy springs off butt ass naked to go put some clothes on.
His ass cheeks, though.
Boy does his squats.
Boy does his squats. I think with all the perceptions of Red Hood I've seen between Arkham Knight, Under the Red Hood, the comics, and the TV show, they're doing it justice because it's like they're taking inspiration from all of them. Like in Arkham Knight, you have him portraying as someone else, not the Red Hood. You have him playing as the Arkham Knight.
Right.
I think they pulled that straight out of their ass because I've never heard of the Arkham Knight before. But
I feel like the way they did the Red Hood, like the thing that sticks out in my mind is that pretty much from the get-go, they reveal that it's Jason Todd under the helmet or whatever.
Which I don't like. I didn't like that.
I do. Okay, it's got pros and cons. I like the anticipation of, like, who is that? But if you are slightly, if you played the video games, if you read the comics, like we all know who Red Hood is. But it's the anticipation that you like.
Yeah. Like if they kept it going for like a few episodes instead of just one backhand from fucking Nightwing and his fucking tasing sticks.
I have this is my issue with it. Reveal them, sure, whatever. Don't insult us. We all know, as comic book fans, who it is. Put the helmet back on. Reveal it, and then put the helmet back on, and don't take the helmet off until he casts away his evils or whatever.
Like
blah blah blah.
They did. He always no matter what, he always had that helmet on. That's what made him Red Hood.
Yep.
Was that the leather jacket and the two guns on his side?
Basically, for like the last, honestly, I think he's literally walked around without the helmet longer than with the helmet at this point.
Yeah, we've seen the helmet maybe 3 or 4 times.
So is he even Red Hood at this point? Like,
no, I think he's just Jason Todd at this point.
Like, this is gonna that's my only gripe about the character right now, is that I think, okay, like Kylo Ren, like in Star Wars, I think cool, take the helmet off, show your face, but put it back on.
Put it back on.
Yeah, like
I get his helmet was destroyed, but when he got it back, he put it back on.
Yeah, exactly. But then he just constantly is like, I'm here, takes helmet off. I'm like, you're about to get into a fight, dickhead. Like,
put your fucking helmet on.
Is it just for looks?
And one thing I don't like about this Red Hood, the helmet doesn't look good.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I don't have an opinion because I haven't seen it that much.
Like when I first saw it, I was like, I bet you the budget was real fucking good. You could have done a little better than that. It's like they just got a random helmet and just fucking slapped red leather on top of it.
Hold on, I'm about to Google it right now.
Like, put some features into it, like how in one it's not really a helmet, it's more of a mask for Red Hood, it's that like cowboy type look. He's got like the domino eyes with like
Yeah.
just this covered, and it looks really fucking cool.
I mean, I don't hate it.
Oh no, like it's all right. I could dislike it more, but I don't necessarily love it.
I think it needs a few more grooves. Like I'm looking at a comic panel right now. It's pretty similar to these comic
Yeah.
panels. What do you think about the eyes glowing? Is it
I
too
think-
much?
I think the eyes glowing part is a good idea.
And they could use they can use like he's seeing tech through the eye slits
Yeah.
or whatever.
Because that's
That would make
like
sense.
that's how it is in the game. But in the game, it's just a straight red, like not even a mask. It's more like a helmet.
Yeah, I always thought of it as like a biker helmet or something.
But like it like locks in down here, and like he clicks aside and it comes up. But
Yeah.
it's like completely red, nothing but tech and shit like that. The only part of him that's not tech is from the neck down, and it's fucking cool because you got like realistic with gaming technology, which is fucking cool. One thing I liked about the game was when he first took off the helmet, which was the Arkham Knight symbol, everything glowed red. He had the same Arkham logo and everything, and everything, instead of being blue, it was red, which looked really fucking cool. But they switched it out for just looks like just a fucking white t-shirt with the bat symbol on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he bounces back at the end of all this. Like, we all know Red Hood, at the end of the day, he goes back to the Bat family. He's a good guy.
Well, if you haven't read the comics, you don't know that. Or if you haven't seen any of the Red Hood stuff.
Or played whatever.
Personally, Red Hood is my absolute favorite DC character.
Which is funny because my favorite DC character is probably Nightwing. So we both have like former Robin.
Yeah. DJ, who's your favorite?
Both of them.
You're fucking. Okay, hey, no, not letting you off the hook. Who's your favorite DC character?
Well, it's honestly a tie between Nightwing and Red Hood. I really enjoy both of them.
Fuck you.
But
These characters don't
it
exist.
probably
If you had your third place,
third place, Green
Yeah.
Arrow.
How did I know that was coming? I just knew.
Well, in Marvel, Hawkeye is one of my favorites.
Oh my god. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you.
all I hear is this faint ew. I will
Who's your
say
favorite Marvel character?
there's a comic line of Hawkeye that is really good. I can't remember the name of the series, but I think Frank Miller does it. It's great. My favorite Marvel character, that's fucking difficult.
Well,
Oh,
actually, my favorite Marvel character is Deadpool.
Okay.
Out of all Marvel, Deadpool's my absolute favorite.
My favorite two DC characters would either be Red Hood or Deathstroke.
Ooh, Deathstroke's good. That's
Right.
good. Okay, just leading on interesting Marvel characters. One of my top favorites is Legion
Mhm.
from Marvel. That's Professor X's bastard son. His character profile is insane. So basically, any power you can think of, he has, but not in a traditional, I'm going to use his power here kind of way. He's mentally fucking insane and has like, he's got a whole backstory, but just to give you a brief description, he's a psycho, and on the inside of his brain, there's like there's countless people with specific single powers. Like one person will have a firepower, another person can fly, another person can read people's minds. And basically, whenever he needs somebody, it's like he has all these personas in his brain that has different powers. He plugs that person in to whenever he needs to use that power, and he almost
That's
turns into
fucking
like
cool.
a different person. Like it's hard to explain, but there is a comic line, X-Men Legends Legion. I think it ran for a handful of issues, like maybe 10 to 20, but the story is fucking insane because there's two stories going on at the same time.
Fucking cool.
I remember hearing about that. I never read them, but I know what you're talking about.
My favorite Marvel character would either be Wolverine or the Silver Surfer.
I don't hear that a lot.
Silver Surfer is a good one.
Who's your favorite villain in DC?
I like a lot of Flash villains. Reverse
Oh, yeah.
Flash. Reverse Flash is a pretty cool one.
DJ.
This might sound like stereotypical, but I've always been a fan of Darkseid.
Oh,
I like Darkseid. He's basically
Darkseid.
Thanos. Like he's a weird version of Thanos.
yeah.
I like him more than I like Thanos.
Well, Darkseid is more like a mix between like Thanos and Apocalypse.
That's
from
who I was going to
X-Men.
say as far as Marvel goes. Marvel villains.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse is pretty
I
cool. And
love Apocalypse.
Magneto, anything like collectible Magneto, I love. Like the helmets, statues.
Magneto would be my favorite from Marvel.
My favorite Marvel villain is. It's hard to choose between Apocalypse and Magneto because I love them both.
Yeah.
My DC would probably be either Reverse Flash, or this is going to sound real stereotypical.
You're going to say the
Joker.
Joker.
Second, he says stereotypical. I was like, Joker.
I was gonna say it's like asking our girl what's her favorite comic book character. Oh, Harley Quinn.
Yup.
Wow.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Of
I
course,
wanna
it is,
be-
you basic bitch.
I want to have a couple like Joker and Harley Quinn. No, you don't.
No,
I
no, you
hate those memes. Every time a girl
Like-
posts something like that, it's like, do you even know what you're even talking about?
Realize what the fuck you're saying, right?
You're likely already in that relationship, knowing about
you
it.
want someone. It's basically you want someone to shoot you, to mentally degrade you, throw you into a pit of acid.
There's that Harley Quinn cartoon series on HBO Max. Just show them the first episode of that where Harley Quinn and Joker break up, and like
Mhm.
maybe you'll get through to her. Probably not.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up. Let's go ahead and do our call to actions before this gets too long. If you're listening to us on Spotify or any of the podcasts, look in the bios. You'll have links to our YouTube. We stream basically Friday and Saturday nights. We upload videos whenever we can on there. We play a bunch of Apex and all that stuff. If you're watching the video form of this on YouTube, again, look into the bio of the video. That'll get you over to our Spotify. Follow, subscribe on both of those. That helps us out a ton. Leave comments, ratings, depending on whatever platform that you're using. Just leave positive shit. That helps us out, helps us get more viewers. And on the podcast structure, it puts us, above other podcasts.
Smash that fucking like button.
Yeah.
Hit that bell.
Like that video.
Or I'll
hit the
come
bell.
kill your family.
Hey, easy.
Hey,
Easy. We're not going to
hey,
kill
kitties.
anybody. We're just going to break their legs. We're going to break their legs, not their fingers, because we need them to smash that like button and that bell.
they could
Yeah.
use their toes.
They could use their toes, but it seems a little difficult.
Yeah.
What about if they have no arms?
I guess they could use their nose, right? They can just smash their face into it. There we go.
Wow, I liked it.
Oh,
Broke my
shit.
nose. Broke my nose, but I liked it.
I left a review VXQ space dash star star star.